Hello, my name is Amaya Rosalani Watson, and this is going to be my presentation on the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, I apologize for the light and the lighting. I tried to do this on Zoom, but it was not saving my recordings to my computer. And I did try the Casto Magic and the other websites that you gave me, but it just was not happening. So I literally just have to do this with my computer in my hand. All right, so right now I'm going to talk to you guys about the Black Lives Matter movement and what it truly means. So, first, we're going to start off where it started with Trayvon Martin. Back in 2012, he was shot coming home from a convenience store on his way to his parents' house. But somebody had called in for suspicion, and once Officer Zimmerman got to the scene, he had taken his life. Now, this is the officer who had shot Trayvon Martin. Now, the interesting part about this is it took a year for his case to be verified. And first, he was saying that it was self defense, he was hurting me, and he was injured. But after the Black Lives Matter movement came in and finally did tons of donating and petitions for Trayvon, they looked into it and they saw that the officer was fine and that he was lying. And so then he eventually got charged with second-degree murder. And that's when the Black Lives Matter movement came in and they figured if we can do this for Trayvon, then we can do this for millions of other African Americans around the world. So this is the Black Lives Matter. This is our brand right here, and this is some protest going on. And right here, you are going to see pretty much the true goal of what. Oh yeah, here it goes. Sorry, it showed upside down on the camera for some reason, but I'm holding it up correctly straight. It's very odd. But in here, in the quote, it tells you, we're going to read the quote together, and it's going to say, Black Lives Matter is a global network foundation in the US, UK, and Canada, whose mission is to intervene on violence inflicted on Black communities by by state and vigilantes, by combating and countering acts of violence, creating space for Black imagination and innovation, and centering Black joy. And so, pretty much summarizing on what this is saying, came from the Black Lives Matter website, and it was letting you guys all know pretty much on how on what they believe in and what their goal is as a community. They just want to eradicate racism and put down white supremacy, other like Antifa, all down. And so, eight of the hundred, sorry, eight of the 100 police department and eight of the 100 largest cities in the US have higher murder rates for African Americans than the US murder rate itself. And and if you can't see, it shows you the NYPD is first, LAPD is second, Chicago, Illinois PD is third, Houston, Texas Police, Phoenix, Arizona, Philadelphia, San Antonio, and San Diego. And also that according to mappingpolice.org, it shows that African Americans are 3 times more likely to be killed than Caucasians. And for those of you who say that, oh, the people who are being discriminated and being hurt are only people who are grown men who are criminals. Well, I would like to show you an 8-year-old boy, no, I'm so sorry, 10-year-old boy named Tamir Rice, who got his life taken away for playing with a water gun. Now, if you look at him, he does not seem violent, like many of other children, but they didn't even get the chance to find out. And once they found out that it was a water gun that he was playing with, it was too late. And recently, you have also heard about Breonna Taylor. And if you do not know about Breonna Taylor, well, Breonna Taylor was an African American woman who was in her home with her boyfriend. And they were doing a drug raid on her house and they had not informed her. And once they came in, they were looking for a suspect who they had already arrested on the other side of town. and didn't even give her the chance to tell them that he was not there, and let alone that they weren't even together anymore. And she was an EMT and a graduate. And another thing that I want to explain to you guys about All Lives Matter, people keep on trying to assume that when we say Black Lives Matter, that only Black Lives Matter, and we don't care about other lives, which is strictly untrue. Black Lives Matter is a movement about violence against African Americans that we need everybody's help to come in and donate, and to come into the foundation and do peaceful protests, and to just support this movement so we can eradicate racism and people who have prejudgment, so we don't end up as fates in Breonna Taylor. All we want is to become safe, and we want racism to end. That is our goal as Black Lives Matter. And these are some different protests. And another thing that I wanted to explain to you guys about looting, people try to say like, oh, I want to support the Black Lives Matter movement, but yet I don't support the looting. I want to explain to you that the looting is completely different from the Black Lives Matter movement. In fact, it does not have anything to do with it. What happens in the lootings and how lootings happen is they find out that there are protests on the other side of town, and they see, like, just like the Riverside Police Department, how they sent their entire police department towards the peaceful protest in downtown Riverside. And while they were doing that, and they had their entire police department focused on a peaceful protest where no violence was inflicted, they sought their opportunity to go and hurt and rob other small businesses, like the Orange City Nails down the street off of La Sierra. So I really hope that this has taught you guys about our true goals as Black Lives Matter, that all we want is to be able to have equality with others, and that we want the Black violence to stop. So please join us in the fight for #Black Lives Matter.